Hate speech and harassment is about what the individual experience of being on social media, which is very important. But when we think about polarization, we're talking about the impact it's having on society as a whole. Regardless of whether I'm being personally harassed, I am still being impacted by the fact that I'm living in a more polarized society. It is a societal negative externality. Traditionally in industrial capitalism, people were producing things and they were also producing pollution, but nobody had to pay for the pollution. It's as if that cost didn't exist, but it was actually a negative cost to society. It just wasn't being priced by the market. And that's the key, right? And something very similar is happening with social media platforms right now. Their profit model isn't to create polarization, but what happens is that it's very expensive to clean up polarization because they have an incentive to just create content that is more engaging, whatever it is, regardless of whether it's polarizing. There's no incentive to clean up the polarization, just like there's no incentive to clean up pollution. And that's why polarization is a negative externality of this surveillance capitalism business model. So if you think about how we thought about this with pollution, we now have the concept of a carbon footprint, right? A carbon footprint which measures essentially the negative impact of industrial production on society. And what we say is that should be taxed. There should be carbon taxes or some other mechanism. So could we do something similar with polarization? Could we say that social media platforms or any platform that is driven by an algorithm should be taxed for their polarization footprint? We need to find a way of measuring this polarization footprint, some kind of metric that is cross-platform and that captures this idea of the societal impact